Carson Daly reveals trouble Blake Shelton caused on The Voice. Carson Daly recently revealed the trouble Blake Shelton caused on The Voice. The show recently revealed the 4 coaches who will be in the red chairs next season. Fans were hoping that Blake Shelton was going to return. However, that may never be the case. The host, Carson, wanted fans to know what challenges they had to face due to Blake. Keep reading to find out more. 4 coaches announced. The Voice has revealed who is going to be the 4 coaches in the next season of the show. There are 2 new coaches and 2 familiar faces that will be returning. Michael Bublé and Snoop Dogg are going to try their hand at coaching next season. Fans are curious to see how this is going to play out. Reba McEntire will be returning to the show. Some fans are not happy about that. However, there is another coach who will be returning that fans did not like. Gwen Stefani is going to be back on the show. Although fans did not like that she was returning, they hoped this meant Blake would return in the future due to them being married. The trouble Blake Shelton caused. Carson Daly revealed the trouble Blake Shelton caused on The Voice. It seems his exit made it hard for them to try and succeed in a post-Blake Shelton world. He was the least known star when we started, yet ironically got the biggest bounce from the show and left the biggest star of anybody on the panel. Arguably, he will go down as one of the biggest stars in the history of NBC as a network, as a TV star. I mean, The Voice is really part sitcom hidden as a singing competition. And a lot of that's because the personality of Blake and Adam Levine. He's been sort of at the epicenter of our paneling. So in a post-Blake world, that's where Reba McEntire comes in. It seems Blake was a popular judge, and they did not know how they were going to replace him. However, they could not expect him to stay on the show forever. With Gwen coming back to the show, it is possible Blake may return in the future. If not as a coach, maybe he will return as a mentor for his wife's team. What do you think about it all? Sound off in the comments below. Carson Daly, the charismatic host of NBC's The Voice, has long been the anchor of the show, guiding audiences through countless performances, eliminations, and emotional moments. Over the years, Daly has become a reliable and beloved figure on the program, navigating the ups and downs of the competition with grace and professionalism. However, in a recent interview, Daly candidly opened up about the unpredictable element that former coach Blake Shelton brought to the show, revealing some of the behind-the-scenes trouble Shelton caused during his time as a coach. Blake Shelton, the country music superstar, was a fixture on The Voice for 23 seasons, serving as a coach from its inception in 2011 until his final season in 2023. Known for his quick wit, competitive spirit, and playful banter, Shelton quickly became one of the show's most popular figures. His larger-than-life personality often clashed with his fellow coaches in the most entertaining ways, making for great TV. But behind the scenes, Shelton's antics occasionally caused some chaos, and Carson Daly had a front-row seat to it all. In a revealing interview, Daly described Shelton as both a blessing and a challenge for The Voice. He admitted that while Shelton's presence on the show brought an undeniable energy and humor, it also led to moments where things went off the rails. Blake is like this big, lovable tornado, Daly said. He comes into a room, and you know something's going to happen. You just don't always know what. Sometimes it's hilarious, other times you're left wondering how to clean up the mess. One of the most frequent sources of trouble Shelton caused was his tendency to go rogue during live shows. As Daly recounted, Blake was notorious for ad-libbing. He'd say things on live TV that had everyone in the control room scrambling. We'd all be sitting there, our headphones on, trying to figure out if we needed to cut to commercial, clarify something, or just let it ride. Daly laughed as he remembered one particularly memorable incident where Shelton, in a fit of competitive banter, playfully insulted one of his fellow coaches, and it quickly escalated into an unscripted back and forth that ate into the show's carefully planned schedule. That's the thing with Blake, Daly explained. He's so quick on his feet, and he doesn't really care about the clock. He's all about the moment, which is great for the audience, but not so great when you're trying to make sure the show doesn't go over time. Daly also revealed that while the producers loved Shelton's unpredictable energy, there were times when they had to intervene behind the scenes. We'd have producers in my ear telling me to rein Blake in, but if you've ever tried to rein in Blake Shelton, you know it's like trying to stop a runaway train. He's just going to keep going. Shelton's refusal to take things too seriously was both a strength and a source of frustration. Blake would often be the one cracking jokes or lightening the mood during tense moments, Daly said. And that was usually a good thing. It made the show feel less like a competition and more like a family. But there were also times when we needed to stay focused, and Blake just couldn't resist making some sarcastic remark or poking fun at one of the other coaches. It made for some great TV, but it definitely made my job as host a little harder. Daly also revealed that Shelton's mischievous nature extended to his interactions with the contestants. Blake had this way of convincing contestants to do things they might not have otherwise done. He was really good at making them feel comfortable, but sometimes that led to decisions that were, let's just say, unconventional. Daly recounted an instance where Shelton convinced one of his team members to perform a risky, unexpected song choice in the live rounds, a decision that ultimately cost the contestant their spot on the show. Blake felt terrible afterward, but he also couldn't help but laugh about it. Daly said, "That's just who he is. He pushes boundaries, even when it backfires." Despite the occasional chaos Shelton caused, Daly was quick to emphasize that his impact on The Voice was overwhelmingly positive. "Blake is one of those people who just makes everything more fun," Daly said. "He brought a kind of unpredictability and humor that you can't manufacture. He made the show better in so many ways, and honestly, I think a lot of viewers tuned in just to see what he would do next." Daly admitted that while he often had to play the role of mediator or peacekeeper between Shelton and the other coaches, it was all in good fun. Blake loved to stir the pot, especially with Adam Levine, Daly said, referencing the long-running friendly rivalry between Shelton and Levine, who is also a coach on the show for many seasons. Those two were like brothers. They'd bicker and tease each other nonstop, but at the end of the day, they had each other's backs. As Daly reflected on Shelton's time on the show, he acknowledged that The Voice would never be quite the same without him. "There's definitely a void now that Blake is gone," Daly said. "He brought something to the show that no one else could. He's irreplaceable in a lot of ways." However, Daly was optimistic about the future of the show, noting that The Voice has always thrived on its ability to evolve and adapt. "We've got some incredible new coaches who are bringing their own energy and ideas, but Blake's legacy is always going to be a part of the show," he said. In the end, despite the trouble Blake Shelton sometimes caused, Carson Daly wouldn't have had it any other way. "Blake kept us all on our toes, and I think that's part of what made the show so special," Daly said. "He's a one-of-a-kind guy, and we were lucky to have him for as long as we did." As The Voice moves forward without Shelton, Daly and the rest of the team will undoubtedly continue to deliver the same heartfelt, entertaining moments that fans have come to love, but Blake Shelton's larger-than-life presence will surely be missed. "Kept us all on our toes, and I think that's part of what made the show so special," Daly said. "He's a one-of-a-kind guy, and we were lucky to have him for as long as we did." As The Voice moves forward without Shelton, Daly and the rest of the team will undoubtedly continue to deliver the same heartfelt, entertaining moments that fans have come to love, but Blake Shelton's larger-than-life presence will surely be missed. "Kept us all on our toes, and I think that's part of what made the show so special," Daly said. "He's a one-of-a-kind guy, and we were lucky to have him for as long as we did."